All right, family. So what we got here is we had water damage, and that water damage, as you can see, obviously we have an all-black shower, stand-up shower, and we got black grout. But the thing with that, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. The whole setup with the glass doors and stuff. However, when you have that, and if you have even just a little teeny bit of a gap or space somewhere, because it's all black grout, obviously I overlooked it, and I had a gap somewhere. I had a little pinch in here, and it caused water to get in here. Once water gets in there, you get what's called calcium buildup because of hard water. And we here down in Florida, we definitely got hard water. That's why we had to build. We had a water softener installed, which we did that ourselves. Video right here, you can look at that. But anyway, when you get calcium buildup, that's what all the white stuff looks like. And if you look along here, you see here, see I got it along here too. Now this is the glass. So obviously I'm not taking out the glass, but you can clearly see water has gotten in here. See, look at this. Boom, see, we could get in there. We shouldn't be able to get in there. Just a little bit. See, look at that, that's a lot right there. See, so look at that. Let me show you how much that is. Let's put my nail there. Look, that's how much just went inside. So what happens when you have calcium buildup because of hard water, you know, it calcifies and it tends to make things move. And in this case, it happened for a while and I didn't notice it at all. And this towel here, I got it out now, but I'll try to give you it's kind of hard to get in there. But essentially what had happened was this towel, I can't get it in there. Instead of it being like level the way it's supposed to be, it had moved up because of calcium buildup and erosion. And that's what happened. So what I would tell anybody, go over your stuff with a fine comb, as some would say. Go over it, especially if you're doing black, like I did black on black. You want to go over it with a bright light when you all finish doing all your grout, especially at the base, all over though. Because all it takes is one little air pocket, a teeny air pocket. And remember, water can cause the most damage throughout your whole house. I don't care where it's at. It could be in your kitchen sink, your bathroom sink, your tubs, your showers. Water moves and it causes calcification and it causes erosion. Erosion means it's going to make other things move, you know, like your tiles, your floors. So always go over your stuff with a bright light. Make sure you have no spaces. And in this case, as you can see, I must have had a little, all it took was something like that. Look, see how little that hole is like in between my fingers? It might have been something that small, but over time, water getting in there, it'll cause calcification and erosion. Remember, erosion means now stuff starts to move. And as you can see with this towel here, I chipped most of it off. I thought I could reuse it, but that's not gonna happen either because this part broke off inside the wall. I chipped it off inside the wall, but I gotta cut a whole new plate now. But yeah, let's get to it. All right, so now that we cleaned everything up, what I'm using here in this spray bottle is this very stuff right here. This is called Rapid Mold Remover. Rapid Mold Remover. Now I don't have any mold at all, anything at all. We always keep it clean. But being that water did seep in there, just to be on the safe side, I'm gonna wet this down with this Rapid Mold Remover. I'm gonna thoroughly wet it down. And even in the cracks where I showed you, here, see how you got the calcified. I'm gonna put that all in there too, just as an added protection. This stuff is really strong. You want to wear a mask. So I'm gonna put this in here, let it sit for a little bit. Then I'm gonna come back and use my wet vac. And I'm gonna actually let it sit for about an hour or so. And I'm gonna come back and vac it up out of there.
But after you do all that, Bobby, you're gonna seal it, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna seal up some
Yeah, so as you said, after I let it sit for a while, I'm gonna come wet vac it out, dry it out, and then I'm gonna reseal it, reconcrete that back up. I'm gonna put some more of that red protective on it as well. Then I'm gonna let that sit. So it's gonna be a process, you know, to do it right. It's not gonna be a quick job because we want to do it right. So I'm gonna put more of the red sealer stuff on. That's gonna waterproof it more. Then I'm gonna put the concrete on it, and then I'm gonna put after that sit the next day. Then I'll put the grout, and then I'm gonna put a little bit because we got a little space in here. I don't like that space. Get my nail in there. Like, see how long this nail is? Look, we can actually get my nail all the way in there. That's not good. So see that? That's not good. Get my whole nail in there. So then I'm gonna regrout that as well. Being that I put this stuff in here, the rapid mold remover. Then I'm gonna regrout it. I'm gonna try to put cement in this little, I'm gonna try to put some cement in there too if I get a little bit in there, and then put the grout over it. Because we wanna make sure it is totally sealed and we don't have that problem again. All right, so right here, remember I showed you guys earlier, see it got a big gap in here from all the erosion, hard water and stuff. So what I'm gonna use my grinder just to get in there a little bit more, so to clean up all the grout deposits and all the crusted on, so you can see a whole line of grout here that's chipped away. So I'm gonna chip this grout away right here and just get in there a little bit. So therefore, because I already put the rapid mold remover, I let that dry and I vacuumed it out. So now I'm just gonna get in here a little bit more, just like doing concrete out on your driveway, your patio, your walkway. You know, you wanna clean up those little groove areas before you put new concrete. So in this case, mortar. So I'm gonna go in here, just clean up just a little bit. That way I can pack it in with more concrete to make sure this don't have erosion down the line. Then I put the grouter. I mean the grout. Now, obviously, two things that I did wrong. Number one, remember, safety first. I didn't put goggles on. Matter of fact, one thing I did wrong, because I didn't have goggles on. This dust was just getting on my eye, and it could have caused me more harm, but it didn't. But yeah, see now I got a nice, see how smooth that is now? Look at that. Got rid of all the grout that was protruding, just a little bit right there. And now I could pack it more with the mortar and then the grout. All right, folks, so this is the part where I said this is red guard. As you can see it here, I still got some left over. So even though it's on here, being I cleaned it up and I put the rapid mold remover on it, I waited till it fully dried, then I vacuumed it even more. So now I'm gonna put another coating. Do I need it? Not necessarily. However, I like to overprotect it. So we're gonna go another coat of this. I put the tape here just to not be so sloppy. That's all that's for. So.
And I know you explained probably on your other video about the red guard.
Okay.
But once again, can you remind
This is a protective coating. Matter of fact, it tells you right there. If you look, waterproofing and crack prevention membrane. See, because I had this on there, even though it had water that went in there, even though water went in there, it never damaged my 2x4s under it. The 2x4s are like brand new. Only thing it did is that it made erosion. So meaning the erosion makes movement. Meaning the tile that was here, because of water there and the hard water of calcified hard water with erosion, it made the tile start to pop up. But the 2x4 itself looks brand new. It's as if it's brand new. Why? It's because you put this red guard on it. The red guard, as it says, it's a waterproofing and crack prevention membrane. It's a protective coating on it. So good
it's
thing
a
I,
must.
huh?
So it's a must to have?
Oh, I absolutely
red guard?
say yes. It's definitely a must.
Oh.
If someone not putting red guard, you're cheating yourself because this giving you an extra protective coating. I'll say it again. If I didn't have red guard on here with that water damage that I had that made erosion from calcified hard water,
Okay.
my wood would be rotted. Well, there's a good chance it would be rotted. Maybe I might have got away with it, maybe I didn't. But it'll be a good chance that I would have had rotted wood. And if I would have had rotted wood, that would make this more of a problem because that would have meant I had to pull this all up. You don't want to put new structure on rotted wood. You definitely don't want that. So yeah.
Okay.
So definitely put down a membrane. Like I said, I really didn't need to do this second coating because it was already good to go. But, you know, like I said, the added protection won't hurt. And that's it. We're going to let that dry. I'm going to let that dry for a whole day. I'll be back tomorrow. And then we're going to be putting the thin set down with the new tile. And we're going to let that dry. And then we're going to put down the next day the grout. And then we'll be finished. And, of course, you got to seal it. And that's it, folks. All right, totally dry. We waited a day. It's not no rocket science to this. You're just gonna put cement, well, mortar. You're gonna use mortar on here. Mortar is another form of cement, but it's for tiles. You're gonna put mortar on here. And remember, I opened these up so I can put some mortar in there as well. Because we're gonna make sure we don't have that problem again. So it'll be a little messy. It's like baking a cake.
And what kind of concrete is that?
Mortar. Mortar.
Oh, mortar? Oh.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Mortar.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got me repeating myself. Yeah.
No, to put out there.
That's all right. Yeah, ain't no rocket science to this here. You actually just dump this in here. I believe I got enough.
Are you just gonna paste it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you normally use your trowel for this, but I got some pockets in here, some deep pockets in here. That's where we was having water damage as well. So I made it a little soupy, just not too soupy, but just a little bit, so I could fill up those pockets. So when I had that problem again with the water, you know, I'm just gonna ooze this out when I put the towel. Obviously, this is extremely way more than I need, but I mostly wanted to get it up in these corners. Yeah, like right along this groove here was very thick, like a big hole, big pockets. So we want to definitely fill that up, There's some dry spots, huh? Like I said, some of a lot of this gonna come right back out. Got that bad habit, always making that silly, stupid noise. My wife be getting on me. Knock it off. Like I said, this is extremely way more than I need. So I'm gonna ooze this all out.
And how long does this dry?
I'll leave this for a whole day before I
Oh, okay.
grout it. I obviously, it's just one towel. But normally, you want to back butter your towel itself. Lose it out a lot over here. See, well, maybe you didn't back butter that enough. Trust me, it's enough on here. But I'm trying to get rid of all this. Obviously, you're doing a whole bunch of towel, you're gonna make sure you back butter it nice, thoroughly with the grooves and all that. But as y'all can see, we got plenty there already. So we're gonna go with this smooth edge on this side.
And I see how you actually have extra tiles
Oh,
from
yeah.
the previous.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's always good to have extra towel. But remember, folks,
Maybe throw them out.
as I said before, see the thing with water, water could cause you the most damage in your house. Uh-oh. Give me a little jump there. It's because all the concrete up in there. This is extremely way more than I need. Let me see, get in that corner. And obviously when I did this before, it was no glass was here. Yeah. And I'm doing it in the glasses there. There we go. Let's line that up.
Okay.
I said it's gonna ooze out.
Well, that was a good thing, but you actually caught that on timing. It could have been worse.
Oh yeah, like I would tell anybody, water, always remember, water could do the most damage to your house. It doesn't matter if it's a little hairline crack, water will be your worst enemy in your house. So if you got a leak somewhere, trust me, you want to jump on that ASAP. Don't keep putting it off, because you keep putting it off, what it's going to do, you're going to just turn a simple problem into a worse problem.
It's almost like, I don't know if it's a good example for me to say, but it's almost like a tooth that is messed up. But if you don't take care of it, it's gonna get
Man, that's a good analogy you just said. Like a bad tooth. Like some people got that rotten tooth in their mouth. Instead of taking care of it, they keep putting it off, And what happens? That rotten tooth, it spreads to the next tooth. And that's how it is with stuff like this. You need to take care of it ASAP. Because it's gonna cause you a worse problem. I'll give you guys a perfect example. I remember our first house that we bought. Remember we bought the house. We was living in it for probably, let's say, a year and a half. It was only a year and a half. Where all of a sudden we had a major problem. We go down, we had a finished basement that we use as our main interest. And on this day, when I went to go to work, I would go downstairs. That's what we use as our main interest. As I went downstairs, all of a sudden my basement ceiling had a big bubble in the ceiling right up under the bathroom. And I said, what the heck? So obviously I put a big bucket up under and I bust the bubble. All water just poured out. And it was coming from an upstairs bathroom. Now I went upstairs, I checked the sink fixtures, no leak. The toilet fixtures, no leak. The tub fixtures, no leak. I couldn't understand it. I really couldn't understand it. So now I ran the bathtub. I ran the toilet, I ran the bathtub, I ran the sink, no leak. I said, this is crazy. I couldn't find it. That's what I mean by water could be your worst enemy sometimes. I ran enough water in that bath. I even filled the bathtub up. No leak. See, one of y'all out there might have the same issue. I had no leak. I just couldn't figure out where the leak was coming from. All of a sudden, it drove me crazy. Then one day, while one of my daughters was taking a shower, all of a sudden the leak started, because I left the hole open downstairs. While they was taking a shower, all of a sudden it started dripping downstairs. And when it started dripping, I said, what the hell? How is it? I ran all this water. But you know what it was? All along, the old fixtures in the shower, you know how some people have that soap dish here? The soap dish that was in the wall, it had a hairline crack. So obviously when I run the tub, I couldn't find it. It wasn't a leak. When I run the shower, ain't no leak except if the shower water is hitting the wall and it's running a hairline crack. Like I said, a little crack will cause you a big thing of damage. So if you got a minor crack, I think that's a perfect example to let a lot of y'all know. You want to fix that ASAP because it'll cause you a bigger problem. But we jumped on it. We wanted to remodel the whole bathroom because of the hairline crack. And it was an ugly design what was in there anyway. That old school stuff, you know, when they had the yellow tile, the green tile, it was so ridiculous. We got rid of that and we made it beautiful. Put a jacuzzi in there and everything. But yeah, all right. As you can see, we got our grout already. You don't want it too watery because it'll just be making a total big mess, dripping all over the place. And you don't want it too thick because the stuff will start to dry out and get really hard on it. Now you can see all the white spots. That's where the cement is. And now we're gonna fill up the void and you have your bucket ready. What I normally do, I normally have a bucket of water with the sponge and I have just maybe like 1 or 2 drops of soap in it. So it's actually cleaning at the same time. So now we're gonna fill the void of all this gas. It's real simple. It's a real simple job. Ain't nothing rocket scientist about this. Real simple. It's gonna drip. You're gonna fill up all that space there. So like I said, you don't want it too wet. You don't want it too dry, but you want it a nice consistency. That way it get in all those grooves. So you want it a little wet, but that's not too wet. You'll see that nice black color in there. You could have did this yourself, man. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. See? Just clean up your mess. Yeah, this was a more, probably inside there, a lot more thicker. It's just the same. I believe this is where our initial problem started. It was right in here, and then it made that beveled up. So we went really hard in this area. Pipes, especially, you know, I've been to so many houses doing a repair or something. Someone may have like a simple water leak up under their sink or something. They put a pot there, a bowl, and they think, oh, I've had that there for years. We just manage. Nah, let me tell you something about that. You're managing it. We'll keep dumping that water. Let me tell you something. That's only gonna get worse. So don't put stuff off when you got some type of water damage in your house. You wanna address that, get that taken care of. You don't keep putting that off, because I'm telling you, it's gonna make things worse. That water, that little leak you got in that kitchen, under that kitchen sink, the bathroom sink, what's gonna happen? That's gonna turn to a bigger leak. That's gonna turn to mold, mildew. It's gonna cause you more problems. When you got mold and mildew in the air, then that's a pathogen. You wonder why you're getting headaches and stuff like that, possibly. So you definitely want to address that and take care of that. Don't play with the corners. Don't forget your corners. Remember, that's where water builds up. Water builds up and sneak away and cause you a problem in them corners. But yeah, another thing you should always have is 2 buckets. You see how dirty this bucket is because we're doing black grout. But The reason you should always have 2 buckets is because this is the raw. This is like raw, for example. You're gonna clean it off. Clean off your work. But as you clean off your work, you best believe this is gonna get back dirty. This, look how shiny this looks now. It's gonna get back like that. So that's the whole purpose of having 2 buckets. Cause now you go into the clean bucket now. And you wring it out real good, and then you wipe that down. Now you ain't gotta worry about back like this, cause it will get back. See, look, it's gonna get back like that. All right, what's up, family? So now this is the total, complete, finished job. And as you can look and zoom in closer, you remember how this was all erosion. Up here was erosion. And see, so we cut us this is a brand new tile, and we put brand new, well, we cleaned it up underneath. As I showed you earlier in the video, we cleaned it up underneath. We put a rapid mold remover. We didn't have any mold or mildew, none whatsoever, but I just believe in going over stuff double to be sure. And then after we cleaned it up, we let it sit for a while, then we vacked it up. Then we cut the tile, put new mortar, new grout the next day, and now we finished the sealer, and we are all done. And you see the finished results? As I said earlier, remember, I go through this a lot with people when I'm doing repairs for people. A little water can cause a lot of damage, and a lot of people have the misconception of thinking, we had that bucket under the sink for a while, it just catches the water. No, water can cause the most damage throughout your entire house. It could cause the most damage because a little leak could turn into a big problem later, and you'll be wondering why the contractor is charging you so much money. And you think he's overcharging you. You get on the other side, you see as well over there. See, even if you go inside here, see how we did it all up here? Got some thick grout. Yeah, I know it should be thinner like this, but the piece was, I had to work with what I had. And I didn't have it long enough. It looked like 1/8 of an inch or so. I should have been longer. But still, I made sure I grouted real good. And as you can see, we got it all up against there. But this was a problem here. So now we're back in business. But I'm gonna say it one more time. It's probably the 3rd time I'm saying this. Remember, folks, if you got a little erosion, remember what erosion does. Erosion makes things move. And water up under tile, for a while, it would eventually cause erosion, which all of a sudden your tiles will start popping up. They can crack and someone step on because now they're not put down properly because of water erosion. So you must address that right away. Don't wait till a bad problem becomes a worse problem. But hey, in closing, all finished job. And we're back in business. Peace.
Good job.